Hello everyone, Deb Floros, guest designer for Art Beads. Today I'm making a really fun pair of tropical vacation earrings. So I'm going to be using 1mm Dazzle It Lovely Knots Asian knotting cord. This is really easy to work with and you'll need about 12 inches or so, and you can cut right from the package. I'm going to string that cording right onto these beautiful silver palm tree connectors that have vertical loops. So we're going to string our piece of cording through the bottom loop, and we're going to tie 2 overhand knots. We're going to pull that tight, and when we get a little further along, we're actually going to glue that knot. You could glue it at this point and wait, but we can glue both points at the same time when we get to it. I'm going to pull those 2 pieces of cord apart, and then I'm going to string onto each cord Matubo 2.0 check glass ionic turquoise green and brown seed beads by Starman. These are really cool beads. They have a little bit of a crackled effect to them, and I just thought they were the perfect color to add to this bright white knotting cord. I think these earrings have a bit of a beachy look to them, and they definitely are worthy of being worn under a sparkly palm tree. So our pattern is going to be 1 bead on each cord, 2 overhand knots, and then 1 bead over both cords, and then 2 overhand knots. And we'll actually have 3 sets of 2 and then 3 solo beads in our pattern. So it'll be 2 beads, 2 knots, 1 bead, 2 knots, 2 beads, 2 knots, 1 bead, 2 knots, 2 beads, 2 knots, 1 bead, 2 knots. That's the pattern that we'll be using here. And this cording is just super easy to knot with and manipulate. You don't need a tool for this project. You can just pull those knots tight with your fingers, and you really shouldn't have any need for any kind of tool. And I think that as you go, it may look a little bit wonky, and you can kind of move those beads around as you go, and you can even move them around a little bit once the project is complete. So I'm just pulling that onto the cord, creating my knots. And to do an overhand knot, you're going to go left over right and right over left. And you're going to give the cording a little bit of a tug in between each knot. So that's what the pattern looks like there. I'm adding the last set of 2 onto this and creating my knots. This gives you a little taste of a knotting project without being really complicated or requiring any tools. So knotting that up, and then we're going to add 1 more solo bead. And if your cording becomes uneven as you do knots, you can actually trim it up at the ends to make it equal. Personal preference. If you want to do that, you don't have to. And then we're going to create our last knots. And once we've completed that last knot, I like to then protect my workspace. So I'll grab a little piece of cardboard or something that protects the workspace, and I grab some glue. So GS Hypo Cement is what I like to use in this instance. And you just need a little dab in 2 places. One place is up by the connector. So you'll dab just a tiny bit on either side of the knot. Just need a couple of dabs. And then I like to add a little bit of glue at the bottom of the piece, so that very last knot point. And I did add just a touch bit more there. Then you're going to want to let that dry. And I like to put a fan, a little portable fan in place when I am letting it dry. I'm then going to cut off my tails, and I'm going to cut them very close to that knot, being careful not to cut the knot. And then you can see you still have the flexibility to move those beads around a little bit. The last thing you're going to do is add your ear wires, and I used sterling silver 18 by 26 millimeter balloon ear wires. They're absolutely beautiful and are a very nice complement to these earrings. These earrings are actually really lightweight, although they're fairly big earrings, but I think you'll have a lot of fun making these. I sure did. And they're really perfect for that tropical vacation you might be taking, or if you're looking to sort of go to a tropical place in your mind. You can celebrate a tropical vacation without even having to go anywhere. So you can find all these materials at artbeads.com. Thank you so much for watching.